A very good morning to all of you. Ramnaji, shall we start or shall we wait for a few more minutes?
I will wait for a couple of more minutes.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank
Thanks, Dr. Manoj. So what we are planning to do is for the next last session, 11:30 session, Hema Narayan ma'am, and yeah, she has joined, and Dr. Ramani, those will be the two anchors.
you.
And
Okay,
for this particular session, mostly the PPT will be shared by Satyanathan. But before that, you can make me a presenter for a couple of initial minutes where I'll be
o-
showing a video.
okay. And Ramnaji, though it is a last session from School of Design Thinking, there is one more session lined up from my side for my
Correct.
participant. There will
Correct.
be a session on IPR at 2:30, followed by
Hmm.
a brief feedback session and a test. And I would also request you people to join that last 15 minutes also, so that you can also hear from our participant how they appreciate this whole 5 days and all. That will be a
Correct.
15 minutes short feedback session which will go live on what we can say recording. Though they will be going to give a formal feedback on AICT portal, which is a mandatory activity for all of them, but still we want to hear from them face to face during the last 15 minutes of the third session.
So that will happen after IR session gets
Yeah,
finished.
yeah, but we will continue to finish it quite so that we can take the use of last 15 minutes. We may overshoot by 5-10 minutes. We have to actually mentally prepare for that, because though we will plan to finish it at 3:45, it may or may not get finished by the time.
Got it.
But once we successfully conduct the feedback process, which is a mandatory requirement from AICT, then only we will be able to shoot that email for the quiz. So unless we complete that feedback form, it will be very difficult for me. And I would also request many of my participants to please come forward during this 15-minute session, come on video and express yourself how you experience these 5 days of work. You have to be very honest with us. Other than some technical issues, you have to appreciate about the content part, some experts comment, and if you want to add something to that, you just share your experience with all of us. 2-3 people at the most we can accommodate during those 15 minutes of work.
Correct. And Dr. Manoj, one thing was probably I'll start on a note of an apology because for this FTP as well as for a couple of other planned items also has been occupied the whole week. So some participants did ask for a comment or a feedback on the assignment which they submitted. So I was not able to kind of view them all. But what I can do personally is over the next couple of weeks and next days, since you have shared the email IDs, I'll give a specific feedback one to one, because as people uploaded the participants, I've got the email IDs as well along with them, so I can know which participant had submitted assignment. So I'll share it one to one or the next couple of days next week. So,
Thank you so much. It's so nice of you, sir. Thank you so much. Before we start, just an information to all the participants. Being the last day of your 5-day FDP, there will be three important sessions, out of which two sessions has also been included in the assessment. So the PPT will be shared just after this session only. Last session IPR is just for your information. So you need not only something will the innovation will be the obvious thing that will happen. So you should be also knowing about the IP. Second, the thing is
Manoj
the
sir,
last day I all join the session. My colleague, yeah, ma'am, please go ahead.
Dr. Manoj, your voice was garbled.
yeah, Manoj sir, can you kindly repeat what you said right now? It was
Okay,
not audible.
okay. Let me check once again. Now it's fine.
Yeah, it's audible now.
No. Okay. So what I'm trying to say, there will be three sessions today, out of which first two session has been included in the assessment as well. And that is the reason why presentation will be shared just immediately after that through the WhatsApp group. The last session, which is your information and to appreciate the very fact that the moment design thinking culture comes into your institution, innovation is the next obvious thing to happen. So don't unnecessarily stress out with the last session, which will just finish 15 minutes or some minutes prior to the assessment to start. This is one thing. Second thing, there will be a 15 minutes mandatory feedback of on live and interact and share your experience for next 5 days. This is what I'm trying to say. And one more important thing which I not said, I will request all the participants, if you have somehow missed punching any of the attendance, these are the days, these are the 3 sessions in which you have to be very specific. I have asked my team to be there. You have to be very specific about day that on value. You make a colleague to us not going to manipulate those features here. You just ask for us this day.
Not
So,
audible, sir.
not
Again, your
you
voice is breaking.
that connection maybe. Keep my view of because it will increase my bandwidth. Now it's fine to all of you.
Yes.
No, okay, thank you. But I don't know. I'm started facing problem from the start of this day only. I just give me a feedback. One final feedback. Am I clearly audible to you?
Very much,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you. So I was just talking about this. These 3 sessions will my team will be available to you. You have to be very specific about the day and the session, which you were there but could not punch attendance because of the technical issues and so on. You have to be very specific. My team will, according to their convenience, will paste that link in the chat box only, so that during this last day you will be able to match your attendance requirement and all. But don't ask anything on the WhatsApp group, and you have to be little sympathize with us also. We will take some time because we have to just search our database and to get into that link. The moment you put this information, we will be going to paste that particular link to you all. Okay, and with this, let's start this particular. Thank you so much. With this, let's start this particular session. We have in yeah. If somebody wants to come in, please. No, thank you. So I think we will start our first session with a combined anchoring by Dr. Ramnath ji and Sathya ji, and I think Satyanarayan AL and Ramnath ji is quite familiar to us now. They have become a part of us. We have interacted with them in many of our previous sessions. So without taking much of your time, I will hand over this virtual dice to both of you. Initially, I will be making Ramnath ji the presenter, and after that, once he will ask me, I will change this right to the Satya whenever he will ask for. Thank you so much. And let's give me a second. I am giving this right to Ramnath ji to be the presenter.
Thanks, Dr. Manoj. Yeah, good evening on behalf to everyone on behalf of my team. So today, kind of as Dr. Manoj spoke, we'll cover the 3 phases of the 5-step process of design thinking. Phase number 3 is divergence and convergence, which we'll cover today. Partly, mostly will be covered by my colleague Satyanathan, and a very important aspect, storytelling, for which we have specially requested our expert in terms of branding and marketing, Ms. Hema Narayan, who comes with around more than 24, 30, if I have to call, that I have to be precise, experience of corporate marketing and branding. So how can you create a story? How can you create a compelling narrative, and how it can be leveraged in academics is what we'll try to learn. Because having a good solution is very important, solving a problem is very important, but should be in a position to sell that story to all our stakeholders, right? It has happened many times in the history that we have a good solution, but people on the other side didn't develop that pitch. People on the other side didn't have that buying. So how can storytelling help? And communication being an important part, the last element piece of our 5-step process, we'll also see that. But before I begin this today's session, As a part of yesterday's homework or assignment, we had given a small a 2-page case lit about the Naxal problem, about the gorilla, not Naxal, about the gorilla problem. So, but did any of you had a chance to go through it? In case someone has, please volunteer and share.
You can please come in. You can unmute yourself and come in here. I'm sure some of you have gone through it.
We'll just hear a couple of comments because several tools have been lined up for today, and we're already, I guess, around 5 minutes behind schedule. So, anyone, because the case depicted around the problem that involved to solve the gorillas, and what do you think would have been a good course of action to solve? Was anyone able to go through that case partly or fully? In case you haven't,
Ramnaji, we had already only 50. Now you can go ahead with that. In the meantime, we'll again take a break and we'll ask for it. I think only 58.
Correct. So, what do you say? Should we wait or should we discuss?
No. We should not wait. I'm saying you are waiting for an feedback from their side. That might be the reason many of this particular lot might not have gone through it. So better you should continue because we may have a scarcity of time for the day because we are starting late and a lot of things has to be covered. So please go ahead.
Understood. Thanks, Dr. Manoj. So, without much further ado, I mean, just like all the case studies that we have seen, this also was a real life incident, a real time incident that happened in Colombia. I mean, Saragossa was a fictitious name given so that we just don't do a Google. That's the traditional way to search something and find information. To make it more complex, make it more, what should I say, imaginary or fictitious, we had given a nice name for that, Saragossa. So, this case is about how a particular communication agency brought gorilla down, brought gorilla to almost at a minimal presence in Colombia. And what is important is without shedding a single drop of blood, only by building empathy, only by cultivating empathy, only by having a listening, dialogue, and observation with all the stakeholders. And not only, when I say all the stakeholders, not only the gorillas, but their leaders, people who had left gorilla and joined back to the society, their parents. So, how using only two elements, Christmas and football, as in case some of you might have gone through the case, using Christmas and football and weaving it with empathy and compassion, how did a communication agency solve the problem of gorillas without shedding a single drop of blood and without even firing a bullet? It's a nice example of intuitive design thinking application. So this is a 15-minute TED video. What I'll do is I'll share that video here. Let me know once you are able to. I'll close all the other tabs. Yeah, I'll start to share now. Let me know if you're able to hear and see the video correctly streaming.
Yes, Ravna. It's clear.
Okay. I'll start playing then. The captions are also, yeah.
So I thought a lot about the first word I'd say today. And the reason I don't know how many of you have visited Colombia, but Colombia is just north of the with extraordinary people like me and others. And the perfect place.
Ramnath,
but we have a few problems. You may have heard of some of them. Standing, it's been around for over 50 years, which means that in my lifetime, I have never lived one day of peace. In my country. This guerrilla and the main group is the FARC guerrillas. Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. And they have financed their war by kidnapping, by extortion, by getting into the drug trade, by illegal mining. There has been terrorism, there has been random bombs. So it's not good. It's not really good. And if you look at the human cost of this war over 50 years, we have had more than 5,700,000 displaced population. It's one of the biggest displaced populations in the world. And this conflict has cost over 220,000 lives. So it's a little bit like the Bolivar Wars again. It's a lot of people that have died unnecessarily. We are now in the middle of peace talks, and we've been trying to help resolve this problem peacefully. And as part of that, we decided to try something completely lateral and different. Christmas lights. So Christmas lights. And you're saying, what the hell is this guy going to talk about? Okay. I am going to talk about gigantic trees that we put in 9 strategic pathways in the jungle, covered with Christmas lights. These trees helped us demobilize 331 guerrillas, roughly 5% of the guerrilla force at the time. These trees were lit up at night, and they had a sign beside them that said, if Christmas can come to the jungle, you can come home. Demobilize. In Christmas, everything is possible. So how do we know these trees worked? Well, we got 331, which is okay. But we also know that not a lot of guerrillas saw them, but we know that a lot of guerrillas heard about them. And we know this because we are constantly talking to people as guerrillas. So let me take you back 4 years before the trees. 4 years before the trees, we were approached by the government to help them come up with a communication strategy to get as many guerrillas as we could out of the jungle. The government had a military strategy, it had a legal strategy, it had a political strategy, but it said, well, we don't really have a communication strategy, and it probably would be a good thing to have. So we decided to immediately jump into this because it is an opportunity to affect the outcome of the conflict with the things that we do, with the tools that we have. But we didn't know very much about it. We didn't understand. In Colombia, if you live in the cities, you're very far away from where the war is actually happening. So you don't really understand it. And we asked the government to give us access to as many demobilized guerrillas as possible. And we talked to about 60 of them before we came up, before we felt we fully understood the problem. We talked about, they told us why they had joined the guerrillas, why they left the guerrillas, what their dreams were, what their frustrations were. And from those conversations came the underlying insight that has guided this whole campaign, which is that guerrillas are as much prisoners of their organizations as the people they hold hostage. And at the beginning, we were so touched by these stories, we were so amazed by these stories, that we thought that maybe the best way to talk to the guerrillas was to have them talk to themselves. So we recorded about 100 different stories during the first year. And we put them on the radio and television so that the guerrillas in the jungle could hear stories, their stories, or stories similar to theirs. And when they heard them, they decided to go out. I'm going to tell you one of these stories. This person you see here is Giovanni Andres. Giovanni Andres is 25 when we took that picture. He had been 7 years in the guerrilla, and he had demobilized very recently. His story is the following. He was recruited when he was 17, and sometime later, in his squadron, if you will, this beautiful girl was recruited, and they fell in love. Their conversations were about what their family was going to be like, what their kids' names would be, how their life would be when they left the guerrilla. But it turns out that love is very strictly forbidden in the lower ranks of the guerrilla. So their romance was discovered, and they were separated. He was sent very far away, and she was left behind. She was very familiar with the territory. So one night when she was on guard, she just left. And she went to the army, she demobilized, and she was one of the persons that we had the fortune to talk to. And we were really touched by this story. So we made a radio spot. And it turns out by chance, that far away, many, many kilometers north, he heard her on the radio. And when he heard her on the radio, he said, what am I doing here? O sea, she had the balls to get out. I need to do the same thing. And he walked for 2 days and 2 nights. And he risked his life and he got out. And the only thing he wanted was to see her. The only thing that was in his mind was to see her. The story, they did meet. Okay, I know you're wondering, but yes, they did meet. They did meet. She had been recruited when she was 15, and she left when she was 17. So there were a lot of other complications, but they did eventually meet. I don't know if they're together now. I can't, but I can find out. But what I can tell you is that that radio strategy was working. The problem is that it was working in the lower ranks of the guerrilla. It was not working with the commanders, the people that are more difficult to replace, because you can easily recruit, but you can't get the older commanders. So we thought, well, we'll use the same strategy. We'll have commanders talking to commanders. And we even went as far as asking ex-commanders of the guerrilla to fly on helicopters with microphones, telling the people that used to fight with them, there is a better life out there, I'm doing good, this is not worth it, etc. But, as you can all imagine, it was very easy to counteract, because what was the guerrilla going to say? Yeah, right. If he doesn't do that, he's going to get killed. So it was easy. So we were suddenly left with nothing, because the guerrilla were spreading the word that all of those things are done because if they don't do it, they're in danger. And somebody, some brilliant person in our team came back and said, you know what I noticed? I noticed that around Christmas time, there have been peaks of demobilization since this war has started. And that was incredible, because that led us to think that we needed to talk to the human being and not to the soldier. We needed to step away from talking from government to army, from army to army, and we needed to talk about the universal values, and then we needed to talk about humanity. And that was when the Christmas tree happened. This picture that I have here, you see, this is the planning of the Christmas trees, and that man you see there with the 3 stars, he's Captain Juan Manuel Valdez. Captain Valdez was the first high-ranking official to give us the helicopters and the support we needed to put these Christmas trees up. Something that I will never forget. He said, I want to do this because being generous makes me stronger, makes my men feel stronger. And I get very emotional when I remember him, because he was killed later in combat, and we really miss him. But I think I want you all to see him, because he was really, really important. He gave us all the support to put up the first Christmas trees. What happened later is that the guerrillas who came out during the Christmas tree operation and all of that said, that's really good, Christmas trees are really cool, but you know what? We really don't walk anymore, we use rivers. So rivers are the highways of the jungle, and this is something we learned. And most of the recruiting was being done in and around the river villages. So we went to these river villages and we asked the people, and probably some of them were direct acquaintances of the guerrilla, we asked them, can you send guerrillas a message? We collected over 6,000 messages. Some of them were notes saying get out, some of them were toys, some of them were candy. Even people took off their jewelry, their little crosses and religious things, and put them in these floating balls that we sent down the rivers so that they could be picked up at night. And we sent thousands of these down the rivers and then picked them up later if they weren't. But lots of them were picked up. This generated, on average, a demobilization every 6 hours. So this was incredible, and it was about come home at Christmas. Then came the peace. And when the peace process started, the whole mindset of the guerrilla changed. And it changed because it makes you think, well, if there's a peace process, this is probably going to be over. At some point, I'm going to get out. And their fears completely changed. And their fears were not, am I going to be rejected? When I get out, am I going to be rejected? So the past Christmas, what we did was we found 27 mothers of guerrillas, and we asked them to give us pictures of their children when they only could recognize themselves so as not to put their lives in danger. And we asked them to give the most motherly message you can get, which is, before you were a guerrilla, you were my child. So come home, I'm waiting for you. You can see the pictures here, I'll show you a couple. Thank you. And these pictures were placed in many different places, and a lot of them came back, and it was really, really, really beautiful. And then we decided to work with society. So we did mothers at around Christmas time. Now let's talk about the rest of the people. And you may be aware of this or not, but there was a World Cup this year, and Colombia played really well. And it was a unifying moment for Colombia. And what we did was tell the guerrillas, come, get out of the jungle. We're saving a place for you. So this was television, this was all sorts of all different types of media saying, we are saving a place for you. The soldier here in the commercial says, I'm saving a place for you right here in this helicopter so that you can get out of this jungle and go enjoy the World Cup. Ex-football players, radio announcers, everybody was saving a place for the guerrilla. So since we started this work a little over 8 years ago, 17,000 guerrillas have demobilized. I do not... Thank you. I don't want to say in any way that it has to do with, that it only has to do with what we do. But what I do know is that our work and the work that we do may have helped a lot of them start thinking about mobilization, and it may have helped a lot of them take the final decision. If that is true, advertising is still one of the most powerful tools of change that we have available. And I speak not only on my behalf, but on behalf of all the colleagues I see here who work in advertising, and of all the team that has worked with me to do this, that if you want to change the world, or if you want to achieve peace, please call us. We'd love to help. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, you're audible on that.
So friends, thanks Ram. So that's probably the power of not storytelling, not communication. It was definitely an outcome, but behind the powerful communication, behind the storytelling lies the empathy, lies human-centric insights. That's why Dr. Mr. Jose, the anchor in this video, spoke very interesting statement that there is no point talking government to government. There is no point talking government to gorilla. There is no point talking gorilla to gorilla. We have to not talk to a gorilla, but we have to talk to a human being. And I'll also try to draw this analogy with yesterday's case that we discussed about the good kitchen. That we are not talking to the elders. That we are not talking to the elderly. We're talking to elders. We're talking to the kitchen staff. Design thinking is not only about data will give you a surface level hint at the problem. It's about the people who are involving in the problem, and that's probably what the protagonist and his team also did. So what I'll do is I'll copy the link of this video, TED video. I'll paste it in the chat again at a later moment. For those of you who might have joined late, it'll be a good moment if you see that yesterday's assignment and the video together. It will give you another great insight. So with this, I request Dr. Manoj to make Satya our co-anchor. Satya will be covering the next particular phase of design thinking process.
No issue, sir. I'm just doing it. I'm just.
A voice is not audible. Satya, you're on mute, I guess. No, Satya, you have to toggle. Don't go there. Don't go there. Just take your cursor up. There you can see a mute unmute button. There you should see.
Is my voice audible right now?
Very
Yes,
much,
yes,
yes.
fantastic. Very much, very much.
Okay. Good morning, friends.
Good morning.
Okay. Well, today's session of on the topics design for ideation and finding what works have already been covered by Dr. Rao. What we do today is we will go deep into it so that you have a complete grasp on those topics. Whenever you're clear about a problem, yeah, that you're going to solve, then you obviously move into a solution stage, which is ideation, where you generate a lot of ideas. In order to generate a lot of ideas, you are going to use the tool called brainstorming. Today, I will go a little bit faster because it has got that much of we have that much of content to cover. So brainstorming is a tool that that is used to generate a lot of ideas with respect to the problem that you are going to solve. This term called brainstorming is being introduced by a gentleman named Alex Osborne in his book called Applied Imagination in the year 1953. And from there on, this brainstorming as a tool, as a separate workshop is being conducted. How effectively to deploy this tool, because it is aimed towards creating solutions. Of course, it is a skill, but more than that, it is also considered to be an art. In the sense where you will start using a creative part of your brain. As a result, it generates a lot of value when you provide a solution towards that particular problem. As a result, it leads to the innovation part. Okay, optimal time is for us to do is 60 minutes, but here we will reduce the time part. But going forward, you will start using this particular tool whenever you face a challenge, if you pay full attention to this session. Having told this, there are a few rules you need to follow. These rules are very, very critical to brainstorming. Sharpen the focus on the problem statement. If you observe, when we have been introduced the defined stage of 5-step design thinking process, we would have told you, write your problem statement on an ice cream stick. Why to write a problem statement on an ice cream stick? So that you are very clear about the problem. In an ice cream stick, how many words you can write? Hardly 5 to 7 words. So that only when you're clear about the problem, you will be able to write it on a ice cream stick. So that is very critical. Then for that problem, you're going to generate a solution as a team. But when someone in your team comes up with an idea, immediately you will start branding with an adjective. Okay, this is a good idea or a bad idea. But the moment you say it's a bad idea, it is not workable, then people will switch off. They don't open their mouth. At the stage of brainstorming, you are not at all going to use any adjectives, good, bad, ugly, nothing of that sort. You are welcoming them as an ideas, right? And this is the stage where we look for a quantity, not about quality. The quality part, we do it at a bit later stage. Right now, our focus will be on how many ideas we are able to generate on that defined period of time, right? this is the place where, you need to be totally free to come up with ideas. We say, you have to go boundaryless. Let me give one example so that you will be able to relate to it, and you will be able to generate crazy ideas when we discuss at the problem, when we try to define the solutioning stage. I hope you all would have done shopping, online shopping, especially with Amazon, right? You order a product, say for example, a mobile phone. It takes a minimum 1 or 2 days to deliver, right? And if you're a Prime customer, they will be delivering it within a day. Yeah, and you will get super excited. Oh, I ordered in the morning, and by evening I'm getting it. Super excited, wonderful. Now I make you to think. You order a product, say around 10 o'clock. By 10:30, in a span of half an hour, if Amazon is able to deliver that particular product, whatever the product that you order, right? How will you feel as an end customer? Within half an hour, you will doubly excited. Yes or no? But is it possible within half an hour? How can I deliver it here? Because Amazon might be in some other place. I might be living at a different corner. But Amazon made a claim, right? You order a product by 10 o'clock, not 10 o'clock. The time frame is only half an hour. If you are not able to deliver the product within half an hour, that product will be given free of cost to you. That's a bold claim that they make. Again, right now they have not done it. I'm just giving that assumption part. If they're not able to deliver the product within half an hour, that whole product will be given. Yeah, yes, doctor?
Pizzas are already being done like that. Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, doctor. I'm coming to it. That's what I'm trying to correlate it. So, if they are able to deliver the product within half an hour, you will be doubly excited. But how this would have become possible, right? Whatever Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, would have done a brainstorming session like this, might be 20 years back. He would have asked his people to come out with ideas how to deliver the product to our end customer within a span of 20 minutes or within a span of 30 minutes. Someone in the group would have told, okay, when a customer orders a particular product, something should go to the to the warehouse, pick up that particular product automatically, and it should go to the customer's place by tracking his address and then deliver the product to him and should come back. Now, you as a customer might be staying at the 15th floor in a particular apartment, right? You are staying at the 15th floor. So even if a delivery boy comes, right, to catch up the lift and to reach the 15th floor, it will take somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes, or it will exhaust that time frame of 30 minutes. But since Jeff Bezos would have put this boundary within half an hour, somehow we need to do it. That somehow, that point of time, 20 years back, they don't have a solution. But right now, right, this has been experimented in US at a particular place. They were able to do it within 30 minutes. But how come? They have used something called drones, right? What a drone will do is, after you placed an order, this drone will go to the warehouse, pick up that particular product, and then it will open its wing and starts flying and tracks your house address via GPS. You stay at the 15th floor, it comes to the 15th floor, it comes flying and delivers your product at the balcony and say tata bye-bye and goes back within 30 minutes. And that's right. As an end user, you get super excited. But anyhow, that operation has been stopped. Why we have to talk in terms of US? Like Dr. Balachandar was saying, delivering pizzas started happening in Mumbai in 2019. But after a month, the Mumbai police stopped that operation because they have smelled some suspicious activities going on. But the point over here is, that point of time, 20 years back, this concept of drones or GPS, right, tracking, all those things might be at the nascent stage. But somebody have put through those ideas, and the guys who were doing the brainstorming session collated all those ideas, waited for the time to evolve, and right now that has become a reality. So that's what I meant by wild ideas. Right now, that technology-wise, it may not be possible. It may not be even feasible, right? That's okay. But let's park that ideas, right? So that that chain effect might take place over a period of time. Okay. Having said this, okay, you have to number your ideas. Basically, I ask people to put a number to an idea. In a classroom session, I always say, you need to come up with 100 ideas here. And to your surprise, people always come with that set of ideas, that many ideas. Only when we set that benchmark, right? This is the number, this is the number that you need to reach. And the human mind will, start working on it and will be able to deliver it. But here in the session, we are going to reduce it. Yeah. So, but when you're trying to do this brainstorming, there are certain ways where you will not be able to leverage this tool because of these certain things are not kept in place, or rather, these certain things are kept in place. Usually, they say the boss gets to speak first. The moment you bring in a boss, I'm not against the boss. The hierarchy over there, right? Brainstorming doesn't work. See, brainstorming is a creative activity. By hearing me, suddenly something will get pop up. That pop up should be captured, right? But if you put a hierarchy over there, and people will always, waiting for things to get close, and that point of time when you expect a creative idea to pop up, it may not happen. Everybody gets a turn in the sense, right now, Dr. Balachandra will speak, then Dr. Manoj will speak, then Ramnath will speak. Now, the moment I put a pinpoint finger, again, brainstorming will not work. It is free flow. Anyone can pop up and give an idea. A newcomer can give an idea, right? When such an atmosphere, when such an ambience is being created, then you can see free flow of ideas coming up. And obviously, the third one, experts only, right? The moment you brand it like an experts only, then people will always have a thought on their mind and they will switch off. Don't put any labels to it. A problem is there, and the problem needs to be solved. That's it. From that angle, when we approach the problem, right, you will get an amazing set of ideas. So here I will read the famous quote given by Richard Branson. Right, two heads are definitely better than one. That is you. And by brainstorming as a team collectively and sourcing ideas from each other, you have a better chance of coming up with a strategy that will allow your business to overcome a setback or a challenge. Yeah? Having told this, let me give a challenge right now. Now, as a team, let's see how to crack that particular challenge. Yeah. See, you have to listen to me. You have to look at me, right? I'm going to use my body language to define certain things, right? You're in a place A, right? From that place, you need to move to a place, to a destination place called place B. But the challenge is in between place A and place B, it is being separated by a huge, water pond, right? Assume there is a river is flowing in between a place A and place B. You are supposed to commute from place A to place B on a daily basis. If that be the case, what are the means and ways you will suggest me that you will cross this particular river? So this is the challenge. Place A is the place where you are, and place B is the destination that you need to go through. Right? In between, it is being surrounded by a huge water body, pretty huge water body. Right now, what are the ways and means you will suggest me? I am taking my note and I am going to note your ideas. You can also note it because I said it has to be numbered. Okay. You're going to brainstorm as a solutioning part. Yes, Dr. Balachandran.
I have a vehicle. I'll have tried going on a vehicle which can go in land as well as in water.
Wonderful. Okay. So a special vehicle which can travel in both the places. Okay.
Exactly.
Universal challenge which is called amphibian or a duck, which can which can go on the road as well as once it goes into the water, it becomes amphibious.
Okay, so I park it as a duck vehicle. So okay.
I can use hovercraft.
I can use
hovercraft.
Hovercraft. Okay, fine. Got it. I parked it. Item. So 3 ideas have come up.
Build a bridge.
Build a bridge. Okay, 4th idea have come. Yeah, bridge.
Sir, can we prefer boat?
Okay, yeah, boat. See, don't ask me prefer and all. See, this is your idea. It's coming up in your, based on the problem statement that I defined, something is coming up. So you just park it over here. I'm also parking that boat.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ramnath, if someone types in a chat box, you can also let me know so that I can also note it that.
A
Because right
ropeway.
now-
Sure.
rope car. Okay, rope car. Very good.
Fly like a Hanuman.
Fly like a Hanuman. Okay.
Jet
See,
ski.
Ramnath has brought in a point, right? So your mind will instantly say, no, how can a human beings fly here? That's only a fictitious character, right? No. Don't get into all that sort of an argument, right? Now we are focusing on the idea. Meaning we are not looking about whether it's really possible, feasible. No. We are talking as just an idea. Fly like a Hanuman. Superb.
Maybe some means to walk through.
Maybe a
Some means to walk through on the water.
Oh, wonderful means to walk through. So this reminds me. So whenever I take a session, I used to tell him, those days, Jesus used to walk on water, right?
Yes.
He used to perform miracles. So basically, what you're saying is, you are taking the cue from Ramnath, I think. Fly like a Hanuman. Now you say walk like a Jesus. I park it like a walk like a Jesus. Now we don't know how to do it, but that's a different issue. But right now, I am taking the phrase. So fly like a Hanuman, walk like Jesus. Good. So that's the 8th idea. Wonderful. See how beautifully the ideas are coming up.
Sir, use supersonic Viman.
Okay, use supersonic flight. Guys,
now-
at the stage, let me also tell you, at the stage we
can also freeze water and walk over it.
Wow, that is superb. Freeze water and walk over on it. Good. See, at this stage, we are not evaluating any ideas. Or, by the way, we are not evaluating the individual as well. We are looking at the outpour of ideas. So, freeze idea and walk over on it. Good.
We can use a canoe.
What is that? We can use a
Canoe.
Oh, canoe. Okay.
Sir, if we are in a group and plan and reaching the other point, so we might think of various possibilities. There also like coordination and who reaches fast, that could be also can be done.
No, I couldn't get it. Could you put it on a? Could you repeat it?
Like if we are in a group, 2-3 persons,
Yeah.
then can reach fastest, reaching that point.
No, but how? Oh, that's a challenge itself you are giving to them.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a running race.
Among us, there is.
Oh, okay. So you're giving a challenge to that participant. However you want to do it, right? So who goes first? Okay, you're creating a challenge over there itself. Okay, you can put it like
There
conducting.
is one more idea. So,
Yes.
Mr. Sati, I would like to mention this.
Yes.
That
Go ahead.
in Bhagavad Gita, there is a story that there were gopis. They wanted to cross Yamuna river and meet Krishna. They could not do it. So they asked Vyas to please make way so that they could go and cross the river. So what Vyas did, he put a condition that if they give him the milk that was meant for Krishna, then he would make way through the water. So what he did is he had that milk, and then the path that was meant to cross, that path was drained out of water, and they could cross the river.
Okay, so what Vedvyas did, he used his miraculous powers and put something, and the water got drained. Okay.
That particular path within that river was dried out.
Okay, now how the idea could be called? Become like Vedvyas.
So submarine.
No, wait, one at a time. So let me park it. So become like Vedvyas. Okay, become like Vedvyas. Okay, yeah. Next.
So submarine.
Dr. Balachandra, 1 minute. Submarine, somebody was saying it. I parked that submarine. Okay. 15th idea, Dr. Balachandra. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Swim suit.
No, one at a time. One at a time. Dr. Balachandra, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll hire a crocodile.
Oh, that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Hire a crocodile. Okay. So Ram would have spoken about the fear element, right? Human beings have that fear element. Now we are going to blow away that fear element by how? By deploying crocodile, and you get friendly with crocodile, right? In a sense, you are overcoming that decaf element, the critical element, that fear part. Wow. Hire a crocodile. So you will travel on crocodile. That's a crazy one. Good one. Good one, doctor.
We can also use a propeller driven suit.
Okay, propeller driven suit. Very good. Propeller driven suit. Guys, I want the people. No, 1 second. See, I want the people who have not responded it, right? So you just make an attempt. So what are the other ways here? You just ask yourself. There is an internal Google in your system, and it will come out with it. And don't hesitate to share it, because as I told you, we are not going to evaluate it. This is the place where you will start seeing, your internal Google. You will feel that sense of it. So people who are sharing, that's fine. But my focus will be on those who have not shared it. So use this as an opportunity. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Sathya, in circus they used to show that cannon. No, a guy will enter and then fire the cannon.
Okay.
And then that guy will cross.
No, how? So someone will shoot.
Cannonball.
Cannonball. Okay. So the human being will become like a cannonball, right?
Yes.
So he will be placed at one end. In fact, it remembers me when I was conducting a session for IIT Madras. The students who have come to our center. So they came out with a term called dissume. They have come with a term called dissume. Right? They said what the dissume means is we keep a human being at the one end of a cannon, and they press it, and they will fly to the other end. So they are calling the term called dissume. So it reminds me of that. So I mark it.
Satya, we have 3-4 exciting answers in comment section.
Yes, tell me.
One is Iron Man suit.
Iron Man suit. Okay, that propeller-driven suit would have triggered for them to get it. Yeah.
Lenovo has the user the name of the participant is Lenovo. So Mr. Lenovo suggests flyover on Harry Potter's broom.
Flyover. Oh, okay. Flyover on.
No, flyover using Harry Potter's broom.
Right. Broomstick, via which you sit on that and it will fly. Okay, superb. Yeah.
So Lenovo.
We also have evidences from various scriptural accounts that we can use meditative powers to levitate.
Yeah. So in fact, I also try doing that. Meditative powers. At least in my dreams, I do it. Of course, let me tell you, that's a meditation called TM, Transcendental Meditation, where they teach you something called, flying technique. So I'm just given a thought, so you go and explore it.
Someone has suggested make a tunnel and reach there.
Okay, wonderful. Underground thing is coming up. Make a tunnel and reach there.
Someone has suggested build a slide from point 1 to point, side A to side B.
Okay. Side A to side B. Okay.
Someone has suggested time machine. Someone has suggested Kamlesh has suggested telepathic power. Saurabh has suggested time machine.
Time machine. I think it is from different set of people, right? Not from the same people, same person.
No. Saurabh, Kamlesh, Monica,
wonderful.
Dr. KP.
Oh, good. See, now you start using your creative side.
Or we can simply walk around the water body.
Wow, that's a good one. See, why it has to be deployed with a particular tool? I will walk around. It will take time. That's okay. See, our objective is not about saving time. Our objective is not about saving money. I need to cross it, right? That was the problem statement. I will walk around. It will take time. That's okay. Good one. Walk around. Okay, at this stage, I will introduce one more tool so that you will generate a lot more ideas, right? Again, I am rushing it up. So this is called random association technique, via which you take your problem statement. So you can take the current problem statement itself, and for which you need to get some triggers. For which we suggest you to take a dictionary or a word list, and you randomly open a book, right? Open a dictionary, pick up a word, whatever the word that comes up, right? And then get that word associated with your challenge. So in my case, in front of me, there is a book is available. So I say book is the random word that I have chosen, right? And you associate with your challenge. What are the thoughts that comes to your mind? How will you associate a book like this and with a challenge? How can you come up with your ideas?
For example, what comes when you hear
entertainment?
Right.
They say that, but movie generally goes with popcorn, right? Generally, movie and popcorn.
Yeah, that will come. So I'm showing a book over here, right? So you can think of like those days. The fictitious character Aladdin, when he rubs the lamp, a genie comes out, and whatever you say to the genie is going to execute it, right? Similarly, if you take a book, you open a book and you tell, I want to go to place B, and a book will take you there. I'm just giving you one way to connect. Take this random word and you use your brainstorming technique, come out with a newer idea. Metaphorically, you can also connect, like, the more you have a knowledge by reading a book, right? It will take you to places. The knowledge will take you to places. You can connect in that sense also. That sort of a trigger will happen. Any other idea? A simple thing you can think of is a flying book. The book, you sat on the top of a book, the book starts flying and you go to the destination place. Don't think logical. So if at all, if you want to put a condition to it, don't entertain your logical thinking. Here we are encouraging a creative thinking.
Folks, just imagine 100 years back, did we ever even think that anyone in the on the earth did ever even think that a liver can be replaced, a heart can be replaced, or even a knee can be replaced? 100 years later, it's possible, right? So for now, don't think it's viable, feasible, or even desirable. There will be a process to find out. For now, just think.
Shall I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what is coming to my mind is that this book.
No, I'm asking.
This book has this feature that whatever looks large or difficult to you, you may just draw with your hand that image on that book. You may try to draw it, and that thing will shrink, and you just simply pass over.
Okay, so that will take you to the destination place. It has the
capability of shrinking something big.
Right. Okay. No.
And you just cross over.
And you cross over. Okay. So you again, like you become like
that crossover happens because you did that through your hand. You made that gesture through your hand.
Wonderful. Okay, I park this idea. Okay, you are growing big or small, right? See. Okay. Let me give.
One idea may be cosmic rays.
How? Cosmic rays, what it does?
Sir, it will take that person to the other side.
Oh, okay. Cosmic rays. Okay. I park it.
Sir, I see a graph in my book.
Okay.
So what it happens is the x and the y axis will be my destination and the speed which I travel. So when I am in the destiny, I'll be in 0. And when I'm fixing up the x and the y axis, it will automatically send me back.
Okay. Okay, fine. So let me give you one more variation with respect to this book itself, right? See, normally book means what you are supposed to read, but now we are going to travel. So reading, traveling. So normally where you will do this, during your travel, especially in a bus or in a train, you sit there and you open a book and read, correct? So now by just relating in a normal way, right? Now you might get a trigger. Oh, then why can't I use a train, or why can't I use a bus? Because of a book, what are the other thoughts came to your mind? where I normally use a book during travel in a bus or a train. So now the thought of using a train comes in, the using a bus comes in. Are you getting it? Now you say there is a lot of water is there. Then how can I use a bus over there? Run a bus over there. Then somebody was saying, right? I will make that entire thing as a ice, and then I will run that bus over there. Hope you are getting it. So now let me give you one more thought. Can you think of something called a vacuum cleaner as a new word, new random word? Can you associate vacuum cleaner with this challenge? Vacuum cleaner is a new word. So with which can you associate your challenge?
Yes, vacuum can make a vacuum.
Vacuum cleaner can make you?
It can create vacuum, so we can cross over.
Wonderful. See, from the name, you are getting it. Any other thought?
Sir, fill my jacket with vacuum cleaner with air and float.
Oh, superb. See? Easily I can swim across. Okay, I will tell my own version using vacuum cleaner. It could be a giant vacuum cleaner, right? I can suck all the water from the river. Water is no more. I can fill that space with sand and stone, and I put a road. Then the normal mode, right? Either a car or a bus. All those things are possible. I suck the water out. That's a crazy part. When someone says, I can make the entire thing as a ice, and I can also do the skating over there, right? Why I have to go to Switzerland to do a skating? I can do a skating over here itself. I create a new adventure model.
Okay, I will tell you where I got this idea.
Yeah.
Because I'm from Kashmir, and there we have Dal Lake, and Dal Lake freezes. It freezes completely in winters.
Okay.
And people from all over the world come to work over it.
Got it. Got it. Thank you, ma'am. So now I introduce one more word called office. Office is a new word that I'm saying. Rest and all, it's only an object, right? So you are able to relate to it. Now I'm introducing a word called office. Now, how you relate office with this challenge? Which means your brain is capable of, to go even with an abstract things. Okay, office. How will you connect?
I can make a water floating office inside the water body.
Entire office.
No, pardon? Repeat it.
I will reduce the pressure, so it is automatically going to float. That entire office, I will assume it as a box.
Oh, okay. Oh, the entire office.
I will make it little vacuum, and automatically it is going to float.
Okay, fine, right. Floating office. Okay, I can say it as a floating office. Okay, you made it as a office in a floatable way. Okay, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Yeah, mine is also same point. Why should I cross the water body? I'll get my office near the boundary point.
There you are. Now you start asking that question called that 5 whys, right? Which Ramnath was talking about. Why I have to cross over here from place A to place B? What's the reason? What is the need to it? Now, because you are asking that question, you see, my office is there. Might be at the place B. Oh, if my office is there at place B, now options will come up in your mind. Either I can change my home, right? From place A to place B, I can shift my residence at place B itself.
Yeah.
Number one. Or no. My house is built based on Vastu Shastra. A lot of things have been done, so I don't want to change my house. Then change office or change the where you work.
Yeah.
Now the other option will come up. No, yeah, I don't want to change the office as well. No, let me speak to my boss, to my supervisor, right? So that I can work from home. If that is possible, I will work from home itself. See how many options getting popped up?
Yes.
Very good. So your brain, how you are able to do it? This is the logic that you need to, use it. The mind loves to make connection, irrespective of the person. It loves to make connection. It loves challenges, right? Now, when you consciously use it, this is the place where you become a creative person. But many a time, people don't understand this principle. It is there, right? The moment you understand this, the mind loves to make connection. Now, you immediately branded as a creative thinker. Nobody has to come and certify you. You are a creative thinker because it is already built in. Now, you have to leverage it. You have to exercise its power. Then you will start seeing wonderful things happen. Okay. Having told that, You can also increase the association by, this is taken from Aristotle. Aristotle, in the start of the session, Professor Korwar, started with Aristotle. He's the guy who started asking a lot of questions, right? Though his answer might be wrong, but the questions triggered us to think in a different way. The first law talks about law of contiguity. It says when you think of a tree, it can remind of a forest, right? So the mind immediately comes to that. When you think of a shoe, you will think of a socks in that sense. Law of similarity. When you think of a cat, you can think of the tiger as a big cat. Law of contrast. When you see a happy face, like me, I smile it. And I also see a lot of sad face over there. That's why people have gone. So the contrast will give you the different connections. Hope you're getting this idea. So now you take the problem and take any random word associated. It may not be direct. Since we have given you the privilege of boundaryless, there is no boundary attached to it. So you can go crazy and come out with a different set of ideas. So one last idea. So now I've gone more than 25 ideas. One last, and then I will wind up this. See, 25 ideas is such a short period of time. And that two crazy ones. Okay. 26th idea, I'll park it, and then I move on. One last. Because the last one is, you have to stretch it, right? Because now that you have exhausted it, now what else I can say it here? I don't know. So this is the place where, the pushing happens. This is the place where the role of a coach comes in. Yesterday, Dr. was asking you, right? So here comes the role of a coach. Yes, one last. As I told you, you can take any word. You take a mobile phone, something, try to connect with it, or whatever it comes to your mind. Of course, this is also one critical element. The time has to be provided. Here I'm rushing you. Your brain requires some time, to assimilate and come out with ideas. Not that every time it has to be a crazy one. It requires some time. So I'm giving that time.
Mr. Satya, can you just tell what is the question once more, sir?
You have to travel from place A to place B, right? From place A to place B, you need to travel. In between, it has been surrounded by a huge water body, sort of a river.
That part is okay. I'm talking about this fourth, increase the association, that part.
Yeah. Which one you're talking
about? Problem is clear. No, so what is it we need to do now?
He is talking about the last word you have.
I'm saying you take some word, right, and try to connect with your challenge and come out with a solutioning part. These three laws are nothing but, to say how your human mind starts connecting things. In that sense, it has been projected. You don't have to use this. If you want to use this, you can use it, or something else also you can come up with. Take an object, and now that you know the challenge, now try to connect and come out with a solutioning.
Sir, shoes, perfume, and garment. Nike does that.
No. How that solves your challenge?
Challenge means all we can wear and go to place.
No, how will you go? You swim, you walk, you fly. How? Some thread.
By, Nike sponsored or logo. Fly by aircraft with Nike logo.
Okay, fine. So he's using aeroplane, right? Since he has introduced aeroplane. Yeah. Yes, Manoj.
We will give a word shoe, and then we make a flying shoe.
Wonderful. There you go.
Yes, a flying shoe also. Yes.
Flying shoe. Okay, I park flying shoe. Of course, aeroplane also could be parked around. Helicopter could be used around, right? Because of that thought, multiple ideas are coming up. Wonderful. Now that you got a set of ideas, right? Now I will introduce one more tool. See, you got different categories of ideas have come in over here. This tool will make you to logically park it so that by looking at it, you will be able to generate few more ideas as well. And that tool is mind map, right? This tool has been popularized by the guy called Tony Buzan, somewhere in mid of 1970s. I mean, 73, I think, right? Basically, the idea goes like this. in a mind map, you take the central piece of an idea or the problem that you want to solve it. That's a central piece, right? From which you need to branch out with a multiple set of ideas. For example, say the 7 Habits of a Highly Effective People, written by Stephen Covey, right? So 7 habits you need to acquire so that you become an effective person. So when you construct a mind map for that, you put the central idea will be a 7 habits. Then what are the branch outs? Habit 1, habit 2, habit 3, habit 4, habit 5, habit 6, habit 7. That will become a branch out node. So each habit one, you can name that, whatever be the habit. One is being proactive. We have also seen one of the habits, right? That 4 quadrants of Stephen Covey's, not urgent, not important. That becomes another node. So when you look at this mind map, the central piece will be 7 habits. Then the branch out will be the habit 1, habit 2. That will be branching out. In habit 1, what are the things you need to know? That will become a further subnode. That's a child node. And for each child node, you can also put an examples next to it so that your mind gets quickly associated. What is this habit 1 is all about? What is this habit 2 is all about? We have discussed about urgent and important category, right? So right now, when I ask you, people may not be able to recollect it. Now, when I construct this mind map and put in one more child node, might be an accident, could be a urgent and important category, or somebody was sharing on that day, heart attack or health related issues. That could be a important and urgent category. You can make that as an example over there in the mind map. So here I show it so that now you get a visual picture. The centralized theme or an idea or a thing you want to remember, you can put it at the central piece. Then you create the branching. Normally, you in a mind map, it is encouraged to use a lot of colors so that your brain will pick, able to remember it pretty faster. When I say habit 1 in a red color, habit 2 in a green color, your mind will say, oh, red color means, oh, habit 1 here. In that way, it will be able to recollect it. Mind map allows you to, it looks like a tree, it goes deep into it, so that you will be asking a question, what else? How can I go deeper into it? What are the other elements that I can ask for it? You will ask such a vague question, abstract level, and your mind will start branching it out. Yeah. And here comes the other one, like we say in a brainstorming, there is no perfect solutioning or the right way of giving solution to it. We want solutioning. So in that sense, we are giving a free flow format. There is no perfect. Then we encourage you to come out with different things. You draw your ideas on a piece of paper or in a notebook, so that later on we will do all this arrangement. So when we do at the start of it, you won't be creating a diagram like this, which I've shown on the screen. So usually when you do it on a piece of paper, right, you are restricted with the limited size. That's why we normally go with ask people to do it on a chart paper, so that it can get expanded. But usually people always go with the biased approach, right? Especially engineers means, they think logical, analytical. Yes, that's true. But can we exercise the creative aspect as well, right? The moment you ask what the creative part that you can think of, then you are making them, forcing them to think in a different mode. So you get a picture of a mind map. This is how you construct it. How many branches I can do it? It could be 3, it could be 5, it could be 7. It depends upon the topic that we are discussing. So prior to it, I have discussed about the Aristotle association, that I put it as a mind map over here. So when you look there, you're seeing a lot of text over here, right? A saddle may remind you of a horse, a tree of a horse. Instead of that, what you can do is, when you construct a mind map like this, it becomes easy for you to remember, oh, contrast, and you can see that example being associated over there. Quickly, your mind will be able to register, right? You can ask your students to create a mind map as and when you take the session, so that it becomes easy for them to relate it. And even at a later stage, when they have a doubt about, hey, what is about this contiguity means? So they can come back and ask you on a specific level. So in that way, this tool becomes a very powerful. You can encourage your students to do it, when you take a session as well. So you have seen this wheel of life, right? There we have asked you to slice and dice with 8 sections. Now I have created with 5 sections over here. The wheel of life in a different format using a mind map. So the other 3 sections that you have created, you can put it over here as a homework. You can branch it out so that your mind becomes much more clearer, in a sense where you're going deep dive into it. So when you talk about the health aspect, Health is one element, but in health, what else I can do it? How can I exercise my body? How can I make my body fit? Might be I can do it in the morning or in the evening or before going to bed. What one step that I'm taking it up. When the branching out has been done, right, your mind will make that course correction and will put it in your daily life. Hope you're getting it. So now at this stage, I'll go back to my brainstorming ideas. You've created somewhere around how many ideas? As of now, I got 28 ideas. 28 different set of ideas have come in. So if at all, if you're going to create it as a brain map, I mean a mind map, right? I will create like a section like this. Instead of similarity you're seeing over here, I will put something called a land travel. Land. On contrast, I will put it as a sea travel because it's a watery surface. So I'm logically coming up with a sea as another mode of travel, and the third one could be an air travel. So I've created a 3-section. I'm just giving a random thought. You can come up with your own set of thoughts. So one I'm saying a land way of travel, the other one a sea way of travel, the third one would be air way of travel. So in a land way of travel, what are the elements that you can think of? So the moment I say land travel, whatever the mode that you are using as a mode of transportation, your cycle will come in, your bike comes in, your car comes in, train comes in, bus comes in. The 5 branching is possible, right? With respect to sea, somebody was talking about crocodile, right? Swim with crocodile, swim with dolphin, swim with shark, or I can use a boat. Somebody suggested a boat. I can use a boat over there. All those ideas will be coming under sea travel. Now, when I go to this one, what is that? Air travel. Your Superman will come in, and somebody was saying that what is that? Flying book will come in. Your flying shoes will come in. Helicopter will come in. The moment you have the that boxing, automatically related to that boxing, the idea will start coming up. Yes. So in that way, your brain maps triggers you to come out with a set of ideas. It is not only should it be at only 2 branching? No, it could even go with a multiple branching. Hope you are getting this idea. Now that you can park your whatever the ideas that we have got, that 27 set of ideas, you can park it under this section or whatever the section that you conceive in your mind, you can park it. There is nothing called right or wrong. You want to logically connect it. Okay. Having said this, now that you have a set of ideas available to you, now which one to really go for it? Now the problem remains same, right? From place A to place B, I need to travel, right? And surrounded by a huge water body. Now that some crazy ideas have come in, swim with crocodile and all, but now I need to implement this phase, whatever we did as a brainstorming thing with the mind map stuff and random association technique, where you generated a lot of diverse ideas. This particular stage in design thinking, we call it as a divergence. You diverge with a lot of thoughts. Agreed. Now, which one to go for it, which one to apply, which one to implement it, that is the place where you go towards the next stage of design thinking, which we call as a convergence. You have to converge, right? And you have to choose, you have to pick it up. But Dr. Manoj will suggest one solution, right? Might be Sahu will be, Professor Sahu will be choosing another solution. There will be the conflict will arise over there, right? Whenever we suggest a solutioning, it has to be accommodative, it has to be supported, it has to be cajoled by majority of the people. If that be the case, how to choose it? That's the place where we go and apply this rule number 3 of design thinking, right? This we would have discussed on the day 2, theory of prioritization. Here we are going to use it as a tool. 10 gram, 100 gram, 1000 gram. As a tool, we are going to apply it on the solution that you have provided. Now, what it is, now that you have got 25 solutions, no, 27 solutions are there, correct? So starting with duck vehicle, hovercraft, building a bridge, boat. Now, each one of you should vote. This building a bridge, is it a 10 gram idea or a 100 gram idea or a 1000 gram idea? So now, how will I evaluate it? The choice is purely left to you. You take your call. Building a bridge, I think it is a 100 gram idea. Someone will think. someone, Dr. Manoj might say, no, I think it's a 1,000 gram idea. But we are not going to enter into that sort of a debate. You will take that sheet and you will rate for every other idea. Say, it is like this. If you have noted down the ideas, so I will park building a bridge. I can park it like a 1,000 gram idea. Now there's a duck vehicle is there, right? So duck vehicle, yeah, that's a sort of an exercise. I park it as a 100 gram idea. I noted that. So each one of you will be taking your sheet of paper and you will be start voting it, right? So boat comes up over there. Yeah, boat is pretty, easy to implement. Might be within a week I can deploy it. If money is not a constraint, I don't even have to think about technology and all, right? I can immediately make it possible within a week. This particular solution could be implemented. Whereas building a bridge, yes, it is possible. Probably it will take quite some time, might be even a year or two. But board is pretty simple to implement. So I'll say, yeah, I can go as a 1,000 gram idea. Rope car, that also could be done, right? Might be within a span of 10 days. I have to put a pillar over there and, okay, not a 10 days, might be a month. Within a month, I can do it. So now I have to basically, with respect to my knowledge, I will be evaluating it. Yeah. So it could be 100 gram. So fly like a Hanuman. Yeah, that's a pretty crazy one, right? Will it be implementable? Right now, I don't know. I'm not deleting an idea, but what I will say is I will park it as a 10 gram idea. Might be in the future, like how Jeff Bezos, he has did it for its Amazon thing, right? Deploying drones. I might deploy it at a later stage. So you will be evaluating all your ideas as whether it's a 10 gram or a 100 gram, 1,000 gram ideas. Then you will see as a team, what are the 1,000 gram ideas that have come up, right? Certain few ideas will be matching with everyone else. That we will take it up, which means what? It has got a common consensus from every one of us. So that it is not my idea. Satya is the chairman, so this idea has to be taken. No, rather we are going with the consensus of majority have chosen a particular idea as a 1,000 gram idea. Let me choose that idea. Hope you are all getting this. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So now, among the set of ideas, what you will consider as a 1,000 gram idea? I'm posing that as a question to the audience over here. So what you will suggest as a 1,000 gram idea? Because some of you may not have noted it down. I have noted it down. So you suggest I will.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. I can't see anything on the screen.
No, I'm not showing. No, I'm not showing. Yeah. No, I'm showing this particular theory of prioritization screen.
I'm not able to see anything here.
Okay, Dr. Manoj, how about it?
No, yeah, actually we can see that. Ma'am, you just refresh your internet connection. We could see the PPT.
Yeah. Okay, so suggestion. So
earlier I was able to see, but not now.
Oh.
Ma'am, due to some bandwidth, if you just try once again, just refresh, you will be able to do that.
Yes.
And in the meantime, we will be sharing this PPT just in a minute. The moment we finish with that, we will be sharing this PPT. For the moment, try to refresh once again.
Okay. So, yeah.
Is it 100 gram idea?
Which one? Which one is an 100 gram idea?
Middle one.
Yeah, yes. Middle one is an 100 gram idea. The left corner is a 10 gram idea. The right corner is a 1,000 gram idea. So let me give an example. Someone suggested boat as a solutioning, right? That boat could be coming under 10 gram idea or a 1,000 gram idea. Which one you suggest?
1,000 gram idea.
1,000 gram idea. Okay, I'm getting multiple response. And one last response, Dr. Manoj. What do you think? That boat could be a 10 gram, 100 gram, or 1,000 gram?
So for me, boat will be the 100 gram idea.
100 gram idea. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Sir, can I say something?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Sir, walking through it will be 1,000 gram idea.
Walking through it will be a 1,000 gram idea. Okay, that. Okay. So you're a fan of.
I can tell. Just moving the office to this side will be the 1,000 gram idea. Making a bridge can be a 1,000 gram idea.
Okay.
And then having a boat can be a 100 gram idea.
Okay.
For the moment, because now we are just trying to screening out. So all these crazy ideas, though they are encouraged during those time. Now at the time of theory of prioritization, Though we
Yes.
can ambition to be there, but for the moment we have to check the feasibility as well.
Okay. So again, it is not an emphasis that this is it has to be done. It has to be done in a democratic way, right? We will give a choice to the participants, and normally what we do is, we write all the ratings on a piece of paper or on a board, and we will see which comes as the most, and then we will choose them. Okay, now that assume there are 3,000 gram ideas have come up, right? All are valid. For an argument's sake, Dr. Manoj, I will take boat is also a 1,000 gram idea, right? Bridge is also a 1,000 gram idea. I've taken it up. 3,000 gram ideas have come up, right? And among these 3,000 gram ideas, which one I will choose? I need to implement, right? You can say all three could be implemented, but I have to take care of the money part, the time part, all those things has to be taken into account, right? If that be the case, among these 3 or 5, which one to get implemented? Right? Again, there comes a challenge for you. Already you have filtered among 25, you have filtered, narrowed down to 3, right? Or 3 or 5, whatever it is. But again, Manoj has said the boat could be a 100 gram idea. He might be having that thought, but the rest of you will say it's a 1,000 gram idea, right? Building a bridge, a lot of you will support it, but which one to go for it, boat or a bridge? Now, when that sort of a conflict comes in, that is the place where you will go with this another idea. Another tool, which we call as a quick, bold, long-lasting. Dr. Manoj, are you able to see this?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what is this quick, bold, long-lasting? Now that you got a 5 set of 1,000 gram ideas, now we will rate, now you will say, which idea is a quickly implementable idea? That's a question we are going to ask it. You've got 5 different 1,000 gram ideas. One is boat, another one is bridge, another one is a rope car. You've got that set of ideas. Now you're going to ask a question, which idea could be quickly implementable? Which one is a bold idea? Which one is a long-lasting idea? It will last for a time. When I ask such a question, right? Now among the set of ideas, you have to categorize them. Again, you have to rate them. Now, the boat idea could be a quickly implementable, right? Within a week, it could be implementable. I can purchase boats, right? I can spend money, purchase boats, and I can make the boats to float in. It is implementable. When I say the office could be transferred, I have to do a lot of discussion, right? That might become practically impossible, right? But implementing boat is pretty fast because I have to narrow down under the category called quick. Now, when I say long-lasting, that idea should last for a period of time. Obviously, your mind will get oriented towards, the bridge could be an obvious solution. Right now, you're not forcing anyone to do it because of this bucket available, right? Quick, bold, long-lasting. Your ideas will get segregated onto that respective buckets. What could be a bold? Might be right now I can say, fly like a fly like a Superman. Right now it's a bold idea, but might be we can deploy the drones itself to carry a human being and it can fly. We can deploy the technology. Right now the possibilities are there. Hope you're getting it. See, when it comes as a bold idea, right? See, you can think of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What are the bold ideas that he has implemented? Or demonetization that comes to your mind, or that GST implementation, or the Pulwama attack. Because those thoughts wouldn't have implemented just like that. It should have been thought through over a period of time, and that should have a long-lasting impact in the minds of a person. Yeah. So these are the things that you can think of. Hope you're getting it. Yeah. So having told this, once you got a set of ideas available, that in a term of divergence you did, right? And from there you converged them, applying certain set of logic. It is not that I like this particular idea, I'm choosing it. No. You are going with a consensus mode. You're going in a democratic way so that you get the buy-in of different set of people so that they get aligned to your thought process so that you will be able to reach your destination pretty faster. So you are applying 1,000 gram technique, this 1,000 gram, then still you narrow down with this QBL technique. As a result, You come up with a solution. If you want to implement it pretty fast, then you go with that board thing. You want to make it as a bold way of thing, like demonetization or things like that, then you can think of in that angle. Then you say, no, it has to be long lasting. I'm not bothered about bold thing or a quickly implementable, but it should be long lasting one. Then you plan for constructing a bridge or things like that. Yeah. So hope you got that idea of the second stage of design thinking process third stage of design thinking process, which is your divergence, rattling your brain with a different set of tools, and then you converge them and you come out with a solution. So having told this, so here comes an activity that you can do it as a thing at leisurely, so that you come up with a really implementable ideas, so that you make the life of your students much more interesting. How to make a classroom experience interesting for your students? If that be the case, what are the things that you'll do? This is the problem statement that I've defined. Assume that I've defined in an ice cream stick. I've defined it. So what is the first step that you'll do? You have to do a divergence, right? Divergence means, correct? No. Now, as per the discussion that we have done, right? The problem statement is available to you. Now you need to come up with a solutioning. For you to come up with a solutioning, you have to deploy certain tools. So what are the tools that you will deploy? Because it will give you a concrete answer, or more so an interesting answers.
Make them use their mobile phones.
Yeah.
To come up with the ideas.
Guys, I'm not asking you right away the solutioning part. I'm asking you the process part. Solutioning, you have to do it as a team, sit together. Later point of time, you can do it. What are the process you need to follow? The first thing is you have to do the brainstorming. The problem statement is available to you. Next, when you get stuck up with that idea, then you start using a random association technique. Pick up some random word, connect with your challenge, and that will give you a different set of an idea altogether. Then construct a mind map, put a logical way, right? Can I do the session in my classroom itself, or outside the classroom, in class, out class, or online? All those ideas, when you put it in at the mind map level, then apply this. Once you get a lot of ideas, apply this 10, 100,000 gram. You rate it over there, and you rate it over there. You rate it over there, and finally you identify QBA, and you boil down to with one solution. Got it? Okay. So now I hand over the session to Ramnath. Ramnath, you can.
Yes. So, friends, it's around 11 o'clock, and we are very short of time. So I'll keep it as brief, concise, and.
Yeah. You go ahead, Ramnath.
So I'll try to keep it as, but Satya, my slides are in there in yours, so you have to keep it in PPT mode only.
Okay, I'll do it.
So I'll try to be as brief and precise as possible. Most of the slides are self-explanatory. These are only pointers. And one of you coincidentally also mentioned about prototype. So I was going to speak about prototype anyway, but.
Are you seeing the slide? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Next slide, please. So very, very important that once you identify an idea, how do you incorporate user feedback? So Satya, don't change. Okay. Keep it like this. So that's prototyping. So it's an excellent tool to deepen someone's team's understanding of product needs, share ideas, and get feedback from all the stakeholders, not a particular user. Prototype is never meant to be perfect or a product version. It is in fact meant for done to get feedback and do a quick revision. Needs to be done often and needs to be done little early. I mean, just quite early, not at the end stages of a product launch. No, it has to be done early and not end up with only doing one iteration of prototype iteration. The more you do, the better it is. But having said that, prototype should be done keeping in mind how much of effort, investment, bandwidth, and time you need to put, because the more you put, the more risk you are doing. But you should not put too much of time and effort and investment like a big bang approach. Just keep in mind how much you need for a prototype and accordingly put that much of bandwidth to you. But having said that, it's all about building empathy and doing prototype in the language of customer. For example, if you are doing or launching a technology for the elders, speak in the language of elders. don't go overboard on the technical or the finance jargon, so that the elder should also be in a position to understand what the prototype is all about. So it's about speaking in the language of the customer. Good prototype don't just communicate, in fact they give choices, they persuade. And prototyping can be fun and exciting activity because there is something tangible in hand. Having said that, there are two different types of prototype. Next slide, Satya. Low fidelity prototype. More or less, when you see about prototype, you hear or see about visual representation, sketches, images, and drawing. So those are low fidelity prototype. The advantage is quick and expensive, easy to do changes, and you can do n number of iterations because it's very simple. It's easy to express, but the problem is difficult to get on user interaction because the user will only see it. So it's kind of one-way communication. Next slide. This is where a high fidelity prototype usually comes, where you actually kind of create a 3D model or a app, or you actually create a test website, which we showed in test region, which normally in IT delivery models which we follow. And it is also done after a couple of iterations. I mean, once you develop a mock app or prototype with the help of team members, and then you hand it over to the clients. The advantage is you can get an accurate insights because the user will actually have an interaction with your system. User can actually have a look and feel of the system. Actually, is the product able to solve the original problem? Because of this high fidelity prototype, the user can give a feedback. But the disadvantage, as you can anticipate, it takes a lot of time as well as money to develop a high fidelity prototype. And making changes within the prototype will also become very costly. That's why the design stage has to be pakka in mind. Next slide, please. So why essence you do a prototype? To learn from your user, solve disagreements within your team. I mean, I might be having some opinion, Satya might be having some opinion, but we get a validation whether the particular opinion is correct or not. A prototyping will help. Also, it's an excellent way to start a conversation. Many times you might have seen you are outside a mall where a company making a biscuit will kind of offer you as a test and kind of give a start a conversation with you. Ma'am, this is a test product or test biscuit which we are launching. These involve these is ingredient. So it's a better way to start a conversation. Yes, I can say user acceptance testing. So that's also kind of a high fidelity testing. And the important thing here is wait, Satya, back. And the important thing here is fail quickly but fail fast and fail cheap. So fail quickly so that you can improve in the next, but fail cheaply. That's why invest keeping in mind how much you want to prototype, and manage the solution building entire process, because after process incorporation of process, you might need to change some elements of design. And the intention behind prototype is to understand and learn, understand stakeholders and learn. Next slide. So many times on internet also, as we were doing the research, we got confused, not confused, we also were in a little ambiguous state. What is proof of concept? What is prototype? So people use it interchangeably, but going by multiple blogs, going by multiple links, what we thought was a POC, proof of concept, is a little bit different compared to a prototype, but people still use it interchangeably. Proof of concept is used to verify if something is achieved or something is feasible. Proof of concept happens much before prototyping, especially during the design stage, especially during the divergence stage, especially during brainstorming stage, whether something we can add features for that. Now, POC is used to identify product features, whereas POC shows whether a particular product can be developed. You think, but a prototype shows how it has been developed. In POC, real-time interactions with users generally don't happen, but happens normally in prototype. In POC, team members allow sharing of internal knowledge among themselves and explore emerging technologies or evidence of concept to the client. But in prototype, they actually show the product. So that's a rough difference between POC prototype. If you Google, you will also find more and more ample ways how to do a prototype, how to do a POC. But before we end formally, I know it's time, we are overshooting. I'll give a very rough example. Since we come from an IT background, whenever a bank approaches us or an IT organization, how do you do, or we want to understand this. So how we do it as a proof of concept is, it's a banking application. We create two test credit card customers with you, create debit card customers. We create when someone's seeking loan, and we insert 10, 15, 10, 15, 10, 15 records only. And we kind of apply blockchain or apply artificial intelligence, NLP, whatever the technology that's in market, and on a particular day we kind of ask a user and hand him over. Now with only 10 15 records, it's a proof of concept, not a prototype. Once the user likes a proof of concept, once he understands, okay, by applying artificial intelligence or by applying natural learning, okay, banking can be done, or by applying blockchain, these are the benefits. So the proof of concept is good. So then IT organization gives proof of that concept. So once that is done, he gives a contract to us. We go on to build the application and all. So we actually launched an application in 2-3 regions. One is the development region and another one is the testing region. In testing region, where there are actually hundreds and hundreds of records, which we usually do, but not in proof of concept. It was only 10 15 records. So proof of is, so in prototype there are hundreds and hundreds and records, and we hand over that test region, the test application, to the user, and we give them some 10 15 days for them to test, and then we solve it. So hope with an IT example I was able to convey the difference between prototype and a POC. So in the interest of time, we have shared these slides to you. Hope you can go through it, but these are not the only pointers that will help you understand. Of course, if you Google, if you do a more research, definitely you will be able to get more insights on how to do prototyping and proof of concept. But keeping in mind lack of time and bandwidth, they have restricted it. But definitely wanted to pass that thought to you.
So participants, we are already running short of time. So if you have queries, so 2 or 3 questions, you can go ahead.
Thanks, Sulekha ma'am. I was going through your comments.
Query.
Yes.
I have a query to Dr. Satya. While making, I don't know whether he is there around, or else I can post it to anybody else who can answer me as an expert. When we discuss about discriminating in idea into a 10 gram, 100 gram, or 1000 gram idea type, that can be more feasibility when in the current situation, an idea can be looking as if it is a 10 gram, but in the future, it can become a 1000 gram as well. That is also equally possible, right? So how do you cope up with lining up or putting it in a sequence, or putting up the best one or the 1110 sequencing? How do you make it the difference?
Thanks, doctor. So, see, that idea, we are not deleting it. We are parking it as an 10 gram idea, right? Yeah. And as you rightly said, in the future, it might evolve to become a 1000 gram idea. We never know. But as of now, technology-wise, it is not possible, or I can't implement it because it involves a huge investment is required, right? All those things have been taken into consideration. That's why we park it as a 10 gram idea. But that idea will be reviewed at a later stage, might be in another brainstorming session, or after. It's like a review, you will do it. That's why I've given the example of Amazon. 20 years back, they wouldn't have got this idea of using a drone at all, using GPS system. But now it has become possible, and you only told, it has been implemented in India to deliver a pizza. So it will take its own time. Thanks, doctor, for that wonderful question.
So is it used for new product development?
Obviously, yeah. See, yes. Now that yesterday Mr. Lingam was talking, right, creating a disruption. How will you create a disruption in the market? It's not going to happen all of a sudden. Now that you have decided, I want to do some sort of a disruption, that is the place where you jump in, use these tools to get that sort of an idea. If you talk about demonetization, right, of course, it has been implemented only in a few parts of the world. But of course, somewhere somebody have started it. But now for you to get that sort of an idea, to really go and implement it, you have to have the different support system, for which you generate a lot of ideas, and then you need to connect with people to sell your ideas, right? That's what the next session is all about. Once you might have an idea, but it has to be sold. then only people will start supporting it, and then they will get aligned to your thought process and make it implementable. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
So friends, we have an exciting session lined up at 11:30. So though we know it's been late, but please plan to be on time.
Yes. So it is already 11:15. So thank you, Mr. Satya and Mr. Ramnath, for this nice presentation. And this is a very interactive session. Okay, so we are closing this session here. So we will again join 11:35. Okay, so it is already 11:15. So that's why I am starting this next session at 11:35. Okay. So thank you all.